You know, it's funny. I worked in mortgage back in 2002, and I predicted my first 6 months in the industry. I predicted this foreclosure boom, and people laughed at me at the time. You know, I said we're going to have the biggest foreclosure boom that this country's ever seen, because I saw inside in the Mecca here in Orange County what was going on. And if a beginning guy could see this coming, you can't tell me that higher ups did not see this and know it was going to happen. You can't tell me that, because it was, in my eyes, for sure thing. So as long as the money was flowing, I don't think that anybody had an issue with it. As soon as that gravy train stopped and the paper started going bad and the inevitable happened, you know, that these houses were going to go upside down. Now, let's face it, every 10 years the same thing happens. About every 10 years we go through some kind of turmoil, and you know, they talk about this on the news. I mean, you can hear about this, and you remember, if you go back enough, back in the 80s it was S&Ls. It was the same thing with junk bonds and stuff. In the 90s it was .coms, and then that went bust. And Enron, that was a debacle that touched all areas of that really touched off what's going on today, because they lowered interest rates in response to prevent a recession from happening, which spurred the refinance boom, which spurred the building and buying boom, which spurred the greed chase, which now spurred a huge foreclosure mess, which touches all the financial markets, not just in this country, but we're watching all the markets around the world fall.
Right.
So it's all interlinked, you know, and that's how I see it. That money going back to that original concept, it's a viscous thing. It's a valuation. The equity you have in this house varies from day to day, year to year. It's always going up and down. The worth of the dollar in your pocket goes up and down. I mean, I went to Brazil in 2003. My dollars were worth 3 reals. Now, it's barely 1.5, if that. So the worth of the dollar in the world view went down. Did my dollars change? No. But paying $3 or $4 for a gallon of gas when it was $1.25 back in 2001, that's a big difference. Go to the grocery store and you're going to pay an extra $50, $100, you know. So the cost of life is going up. It's an inflationary, which means our Kiyosaki's brilliant on this. He watches these cycles. He saw what happened. He explained what was going to go on. He was predicting this crash 6 months ago, naming the companies that went bankrupt. So he knew that basically the wealth, the middle class got screwed again, you know, is really what happened. I mean, that's what I see it, and I think a lot of people that are feeling it, they're the ones feeling it the most.
Right.